Hey everyone, my name's Catherine, and today we're going to talk about books and albums. We're going to talk some key points on what the differences are between each of the products. We're also going to talk about what they're best used for and how you can place your orders. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and talk about albums. Albums here are going to be your luxury item. The weight and thickness of them are going to give it a higher end feel for your clients. Now, the albums here are going to have multiple options that you can do. We have so many different cover materials, cover options that you can choose from, and you also have a couple different paper type options as well. You do have a fine art printing or a photo printing. Now with the albums here, what makes them really unique is that they have insert boards in between the pages. So they are going to make the pages more rigid. So take a quick peek here. You can see there's going to be some insert boards in between the pages, so the pages are going to be more rigid. In regards to the covers here, we also have debossing options. So on the cover of this one here, we've got a custom debossing, which is really great to make things a little bit more unique, specifically to add your client's text or anything like that, or if you want to add your own logo. The binding for the albums is another really great option that allows for a nice seamless spread from left to right. So we call this a flush mount binding. So it'll lay flat. So I'll just lay this down here so you don't have to worry about any loss of information in the gutter. It's going to be a nice seamless spread from left to right. Another great option here for the albums is that they have the thick or thin inserts. So let me show you those. Taking a look here, you can see we have a black or we have a white insert. This is just a personal preference on how you want your albums to be viewed. What I would suggest is if you've got a nice white, clean layout, then using the white insert boards. Otherwise, if you have more darker images or spreads, the thick black insert or even the thin black insert is really great option. So those are the two options for the albums. For the spread count for the albums, you can do a minimum of 5 spreads, and for the thin inserts, you can go all the way up to 40 spreads, but if you do the thick inserts, then you're going to go up to 25 spreads. Let's go ahead and go to the computer and place your album order. First, you're going to go to Whcc.com, and you can go right into albums here, and on the right-hand side, you can select your size from the drop-down, or you can just click Order Now, and it's going to bring you right into the builder. On the bottom here, you're going to see where you can drag and drop your images. You can click in here, or you can just grab your folder of images and put them into the bottom here. Once your images are loaded, you're going to start with your cover. So it's going to have the default here, but on the right-hand side, you're going to see the cover materials. So you can do a full material cover, you can do a cameo, you can do a combo, or your custom photo cover. So first, select your cover type. And then if you want to do a cover material, you can select material and go ahead and place whichever material option you're looking for here. So we've got the silks, we've got the linens, so many different options that you can choose from. Once you've made your selection, go ahead and click out of it. At the bottom here, you do also have debossing options. So just make sure that you go through and select whichever option you're looking for your cover, and you can add your custom dies as well. Once you make your selections for your cover, you're going to go ahead and click to the end leaf. The end leaves, again, we can show you here at the smooth black, the textured black, or the textured white. So you have many different options, and the insert boards. So your insert boards and your rounded corner options are going to be filtered here as well. Once you're done there, you can go ahead and go to your spreads, and this is where you get to have some fun designing your album. At the bottom here, you're going to have all of your images, and this is where you get to pick and choose which images you want on each spread. So you're just going to click, and it's going to highlight those images that you want. Then you're going to simply just drag and drop right into the center workspace here. Now on the right-hand side, it is going to populate all of these different layouts that you can select from, or what I like to do is you can go ahead and hit shuffle, and it's going to start shuffling these different layouts so you can pick and choose whichever works best for your album. So you can go in here, you can increase the size and move things around as needed and play around with your album. You can continue to do this with each spread. So if you want just a single spread, you can go ahead and do that as well. You are also going to see where that crease line is for the seamless spread, so just be mindful of that if you have any important information that you don't want to go right down the center there. You can kind of play around with that as well. So you're again going to continue to select all of your images and design your album as you'd like. With the albums, you do have a minimum of 5 spreads. So when you are going to place and play around with your album here, it does at the top have the 5 spreads already entered here for you. So something to just kind of keep in mind when you are designing. If you want to add more spreads, you certainly can do so. Once you've got all of your spreads up here, you can go ahead and hit review. This is going to bring you to the page where if you want to change any of those paper type options again from when you first started, if you want to change anything with your insert boards or add those rounded corners, you can do so here. You also do have your sample discount option at the bottom. And then you can go ahead and hit add to cart. Once it's on your cart, you can go ahead and proceed to checkout if everything looks good. And it's going to bring you to your checkout page. This is where you can add your drop shipping if you need to send it directly to your client. If you scroll down here, we're going to see our shipping options and our reference box and special instructions up here with your total. And then once you're completed, you can go ahead and hit place your order. Let's go ahead and talk about Layflat Books. This is a really great option if you want to have something that's just a slightly lower cost point than an album. The Layflat books are great for guest sign-in books, for your weddings, your albums, maybe your newborn baby. We have 2 different paper types. You've got like a fine art paper that is really able to be written on, and then we have a photo paper as well. For the Layflat books, the biggest thing to take away is that there's no insert boards. So when you look at your pages here, they are going to be a little bit thinner. They're more like a cardstock type thickness, so they're just less rigid than the albums. What's really nice too is that you are going to have the similar options. You're going to have your debossing, and you're going to have the rounded rounded page corners here that you can see on this album or this Layflat book as well. And then the biggest thing too is the end leaves here. You only have the smooth black end leaves. So again, no insert boards. So you just have those pages, and then you have the smooth black end leaves. Something to keep in mind with your Layflat books is that we do have a spread count that you can go all the way up to 40, but you do have a minimum of 10 spreads. And then the debossing options are going to be available for you as well. So this one is a beautiful custom debossing that you can add to make your Layflat book very unique. What's also really unique about the Layflat books is that they don't have the insert boards. So the insert boards are no longer going to make anything rigid here on your Layflat book. It's going to be a cardstock type thickness. So it's 2 pages that are basically glued back to back to make them a little bit thinner. So again, really great for writing on. They are a little bit slightly flimsier, but they just aren't as rigid. But these are still a really great option to offer to your clients, maybe as just a lower cost point option instead of an album. The end leaves as well here, you do have just the one option of the smooth black. Let's go ahead and go to the computer and order a Layflat book. First, you're going to go to Whcc.com and you can go under Layflat Books. On the right-hand side here, you're going to see the drop-down for your different sizes. You can make that selection, and then go ahead and hit Order Now. This is going to bring you right into the builder. Down at the bottom here, this is where you can drag and drop your images right into the editor. So let's grab a folder of images here. Once your images are loaded, now you can start with your cover here. So it's going to have the default cover option as the full material cover. But we have lots of different types. So you've got the cameo cover, the combo cover, and your photo cover options. So just go ahead and make your selection here. And if you want a full material cover, what's really great is you can click in here as the cover options, and you're going to see all of those selections here. Once you've made your option, you can go ahead and click out of it here. Just note you do also have your debossing options on the bottom. And let's go ahead and start playing around with your Layflat book. The end leaves will stay the same, so you don't need to make any changes here. You can go right into your first spread. So down at the bottom, this is where you can click on each image that you want to bring into your first spread. So you'll see that they're highlighted here. You just click and drag them right into the center workspace, and it's going to start creating different layouts that you can do with just those selections. So on the right-hand side, you're going to see all of those populate. You can start playing around, filtering through each of them, or I like to hit the shuffle button and it does it for me, and you figure out which works best for the images that you've got. You're going to continue to do this as you go through your images, so you can do a nice full frame image, you can move things around, make them bigger or smaller as needed. You're going to see that line here, so you don't have to worry about making sure that nothing important is going over that center gutter area. So again, just go down to the bottom here, make those selections, drag and drop them right into the center workspace, and it's going to populate all of those different layouts. You can go ahead and hit shuffle and move things around as needed. We'll make a couple more here, drag and drop them right in again, and move things around. What's really nice at the top here, it is going to have all of your spreads listed. So again, we have 10 spreads that you can do as the minimum for your Layflat books. Down at the bottom, they're going to be grayed out on the images that you've already used, so you don't have any duplicates. You can go ahead and just drag them in and play around creating your album, or your Layflat book, excuse me. If you happen to forget to add a spread, it is going to give you that information and let you know, like, hey, you've missed something. So the program is smart enough to let you know if you've made a mistake. Once you've finished with all of your spreads, up at the top here, you are going to be able to see, and you can move things around as needed if you needed to change the spread layout. Once everything looks great, you can go ahead and hit review, and this is going to just show you a quick brief rundown of what you've made your selections. So on the right-hand side here, you can see your size, your material options, and your paper type, and you can make any selections there. If you want to offer as a studio sample discount, you can make that selection as well. Then you can go ahead and hit add to cart, and this is going to continue onto your checkout page. So if everything looks great, proceed to checkout, and then you can go ahead and if you want to add a drop ship it and place it right to your order, or excuse me, if you want to add a drop ship to your order and send it right to your client, and you'll also have the pricing and everything listed here. If everything looks great, go ahead and hit place your order. Let's go ahead and talk about hardcover books. Hardcover books are really great for a cost-effective way if you've got a client that wants to order maybe multiples throughout the year. What's really great about these books is they are considered a saddle stitch, like a traditional binding. So they are going to bow out in the center there, so they don't lay flat. They are going to be about a text weight paper, so they're a little bit thinner, but still a really beautiful, high quality and press printed book. You're going to see here as well, these start with an individual page on the right, and then they will end with an individual page on the left. So they don't have that seamless spread. They are going to be individual pages here. For these, we also have many material options that you can select from. You're going to be a little bit limited on some of the materials, but still many options that you can select from. You do also have your cameo cover. You can do all of the different styles for the custom photo cover or a full material option. So all of those will still be available for the hardcover books. The other key point thing for the hardcover books is the amount of spreads. You can go all the way up to 75 spreads, which is a great option to add as many images as you want. So great for family vacation books or coffee table books that you'd like to order for your clients. You do also have 2 paper type options that you can select for your hardcover book. Let's go ahead and place an order for a hardcover book. You can go to Whcc.com, and under hardcover books, on the right hand side here, you're going to see a little drop down for your sizes, so you can make that selection here, and then go ahead and hit order now. Once you're in your designer here, this is where you can upload your photos at the bottom film strip. So let's go ahead and grab our images here and drag them, drop them right into the builder. Once your images are loaded, now you can start playing around and designing your hardcover book. So it's always going to start with the cover here, and on the right-hand side, you're going to see all of your cover material options. So you've got your full material, your cameo, your combo cover, and your custom photo cover. So go ahead and select whichever option you'd like to do. If you'd like to do a full material cover option, it is going to show you all of these different materials that you can select from. So go ahead and just make a selection that works best for the album that you are creating. Once you click off, you're going to see the end leaf, so you can't make any changes here. So just go ahead and click to that first page. Once you go to your first page here, this is where you can drag and drop your image. So if you select your image down at the bottom, just click and drag, and it's going to populate the different layouts that you have on the right-hand side. You can navigate to the first page here and do the same thing. So select whichever images on the bottom here that you want to add and drag and drop them right in, and it's going to start to create all of these fun layouts that you can choose from. Now what's really nice here is in the center you can kind of see where it's shadowed. This is going to show you that center gutter area. So you don't want to put anything important like faces or design elements that you don't want to get lost in that area. So what's really nice is you can go in and you can zoom in, make any of these adjustments that you'd like for your spread layout. Once that looks great, you can navigate to the second spread, and down at the bottom here, it is going to gray out any image that you've already used so you don't accidentally use them multiple times. So you can grab the next couple that you want to add to the spread and drag and drop them in here. If I wanted to add an extra one, just in case, I can make that selection here and then go through and select whichever layout works best for those images. Once you get to your last spread here, you can go ahead and hit review. This will bring you to the review page where it shows you the size book that you've ordered or created. It'll show you your spread count and your paper type, and if you need to make any selection changes here, you can do so. Go ahead and hit add to cart, and it's going to bring you to your cart page. If everything looks correct here on the left-hand side, go ahead and hit proceed to checkout. Once you're on checkout, this is where you can make your shipping selections if you want to add a drop ship and send it directly to your client, if you need to add a little reference name or special instructions box, and then you can go ahead and hit place your order. Let's go ahead and talk about softcover books. These softcover books are going to be flexible, as you can see here. These books are really great for lifestyle and travel. You can go ahead and use them for marketing purposes as well, and inside here you're going to see they are going to be more of a thin text weight type paper, but you're going to still see a beautiful, vibrant, high-end quality press printed paper. For the covers, you do have only just 2 cover options for the softcover books. The spread count for the soft covers is you do have a minimum of 20 spreads, and then they go in increments. After that, you have to go in increments of 5, and they go all the way up to 75 spreads. Let's show you how to design and order a softcover book. Once you're on the website here, you're going to go to the big blue Order Now button. You will have the size options here. We'll just stick with the 10 by 10, and you're going to click the Order Now button. Once you're inside the editor, you're going to have your folder of images down at the bottom where you can drag and drop. So we're going to grab some images, and we're going to just simply drag and drop them down into the center workspace here. Once they've loaded, you should be able to see all of your images down at the bottom. And we're going to start with the cover. So something to note for your softcover books, you do need to make sure that you are sizing them using our sizing templates. You can download those straight from our website, but it is really important just to make sure that all of your sizing is accurate for the size book that you're ordering. So simply drag and drop your first cover into the center workspace here, and then you can move to your first page. Here is where you will start with your dragging and dropping of all of the images to start designing. Now, keep in mind this grayed out area is your gutter, so you need to just make sure that you're keeping all of your important information that you don't want cut or lost in that area, so make sure it's outside of there. All you're going to be doing is clicking the images that you want to start with and just simply drag and drop, drag and drop them into the center workspace here. Now, something to keep in mind, the softcover books, they do start with an individual page on the right, and then they'll go into your first spread on the next one. So what's really cool is all of the image layouts will show on the right-hand side here, so you can filter through and pick which one works best for the images that you've loaded. You can click into them and you can zoom in, zoom out. You have that full customization to really play around and make it your own. So we'll go in here, just do a few little zooms here and there is just fine. And again, you can kind of see where that shadow is here. So that's going to give you that, making sure that the gutter is not going to go into your images here. We'll go to the next spread. Down at the bottom, you'll see the ones that are grayed out are the ones that you've already used. So you can then select the next bunch. So we'll start with these ones. Drag and drop them, and it's going to populate those layouts on the right-hand side. And you'll see right away, if there's one that doesn't work, you can click into a next one or another one. And we can play around and shuffle until you find a layout that works for those images. So this one works great because there's nothing important going in that gutter. We'll keep going to the next one here, and we'll scroll through and add more. Drag and drop them. Hit that shuffle button, and it'll allow you to play around with the different layouts. Now what's really cool is if I love this layout, but let's say I want to flip it, I can simply flip it. That way I have one on the right and then one on the left here. We'll just keep going here and add a few more. Again, you're going to shuffle until you find a layout that works best for you. Something to note with the softcover books here is that you do have a minimum of 20 spreads. So you do have to create 20 spreads, and then they go in increments of 5 after that. Something else to note here is if you want to make some of your spreads a little bit bigger, you have that flexibility. Once you've gotten to your last spread, now you're going to go to your last page. So on the upper right corner here, you're going to click last page. It does end with an individual page on the left-hand side. So drag and drop your image, make it cute, design however you need to. And if everything looks good, then you're going to hit the review button down in the bottom right corner. Now, it's going to give you some information here. Up at the top, it's going to say images across the gutter, if we've put images across the gutter. So just make sure that you've noted everything that you've created if you're okay with that. And then it's going to list your size, your cover option, your spread count, and then your paper type. In the upper right corner, there's that share proof button. If you do want to share an unbranded link with your client, it does allow you to share that proof. So again, it just creates an unbranded link that you can share with your client, shows you everything that you've just designed. If we go back to this page here, if everything is good to go, you can hit add to cart. Let's go ahead and talk about the differences between our albums and our books. So you've got your album here, which is going to be your flush mount binding. You're going to have your Layflat book. That is going to be your, just again, similar to the album, it's going to be a lay flat. You've got your hardcover, which is going to be a saddle stitch binding. And then you have your soft cover, which is going to be the perfect binding. The biggest key things to note here is that your album is going to be your premier luxury item, and then step down would be your Layflat book, and then a step down from that would be your hardcover, which is going to be those nice vacation books and things like that, and then your soft cover, which can be a nice lifestyle book as well. The biggest things to note here for your books and albums are going to be the cover materials are going to change from your album to your soft cover and everything in between, and you're also going to have different paper type options. If you want more information about all of these, go ahead and head to our website and you can check out the comparison chart.